Could have been worse. We got 4 shulkers, I suppose. I may have made a terrible mistake. So at least we know what the lucky block is now. It's quite literally lucky blocks. And we didn't do too badly. We got some good stuff and some not so good stuff. What is that? Oh, it's a crab. Of course. I do love these things. A gift from the sea. Haven't even started today's episode and I've been distracted twice already. So last episode we botched all the recordings, but we did manage to build up a lovely sheep farm, which has been producing everything we need, little by little, when we've actually been here. But today we are going to be doing some work back over at the industrial area, at least to begin with. So I'm going to run around here and grab a few bits and bobs, and I'll meet you over there in just a moment. Ooh, shinies. Over here at the industrial area, I've marked out, or at least started marking out, where I want to put the next floor. And it's going to be 7 blocks tall, and it's literally going to be a ring that runs all the way around the outside of the tower. So there's going to be lots of boring, repetitive stuff for a little while. I'll bring you back when something more interesting is happening. Got the basic shape in, but before we go any further, I really need to get some lighting in here because I'm having a few problems with mobs spawning when it gets dark. The primary reason for this area here is actually going to be for growing and chopping small trees like oak and birch and things like that. I've just got to figure out exactly where I want them planted, and that's going to help me work out where to put the lights. The sooner I can get these lights down, the better. Get out of it. So what I want to do here is just to put in small tree growing platforms, and I think if we use the glowstone like that and put these on top, that means when the oaks and things do grow, we'll always be able to walk underneath without getting caught in the leaves, because, well, we just want to take a stroll around in a lovely garden sometimes, you know? Lovelier without these spiders and creepers. Get out of it. There we go. Much better. That should solve our mob problems. So the next thing I want to do is to sort out the sort of entranceway, I guess. And this is also directly above the elevator. So we're probably going to extend those up as well, I think. In fact, I think I might do that first. It might make sense. So that's where the elevators come out, and let's see if we can put in some kind of a balcony. That kind of shape works, and if we get in a door frame as well and tie this area together a bit, get some walls in to make it a bit safer, although we'll leave a gap so we can take off and land from the area nice and easily. And from a distance, yes, that's tying together nicely. What we do need, however, is some kind of support, maybe coming up from here. Yep, that's looking better. And now we need to connect the center. There we go. That adds a bit of structure to the center as well. And we just need to mirror this bit here over on this side and figure out if we want to do anything else with it. But I've completely run out of deep slate, so time to go home and grab some more. Oh, there we go. This is coming together. And the lifts are actually now working as well. So we can drop down here. This will take us all the way to the bottom. And of course, if we jump in here, we can go up a floor and just keep pressing this to get all the way to the top. And up here, I think for now, I'm just going to plant loads of oak trees. And, I mean, some of these aren't really going to grow. That one might have a bit of trouble. But my thinking is, I mean, even if I don't actually harvest them up here, it would just be nice to have a little bit of colour in this tower. It's very, well, black and white, really, I suppose, with a little bit of orange. But let's get some green in here as well. Because we've got the ceiling only 6 high in here, we should not get any of the giant trees. Yeah, that's looking much better with all the trees growing. And it's looking pretty good from out here, too. So the last thing for me to do for now is to get the rest of these corners and middle bits on just so the whole tower actually looks attached to itself, because that just looks weird from this angle at the moment. And once we've got that done, I think we're going to be pretty much done on that tower for now, at least farm-wise and so on. I did decide against putting any more automated farms in here because we've got quite a lot going on already, and I don't want to completely remove every single frame from the area. Half of them is plenty enough. And we're done. Every side is now attached. The tower is basically complete, at least for now, until we decide to change our minds and add something else to it, no doubt. Just need to clear up my mess, and I'm sure we'll do something more with this area in future, but for now, it's absolutely fine. And the view from inside the tower now is pretty awesome too, especially with the trees. You can barely even see that there's a gap in the walls. I have to say, I'm pretty pleased with how this has all turned out. And I'm sure one day we'll do something with the base so it's not just floating on the ocean like it currently is. But for now, we need to head back to our storage cave because we've got some work to do over there. So as we get closer to actually starting our city build out the front here, there's still a few other things we're going to need. And what I want to focus on today are all the various dyes. So there's a few small farms we can build, such as the 2 tall flower farms. We've got plenty of bone meal to power those, as well as, of course, our wondrous pickle farm that we build every season, because we haven't built one so far this season, and we're a bit pickle short at the moment. That's not ideal. We've already got cactus growing over at the main industrial area, but we could do with some cocoa beans over here as well, which when combined with the bones and of course the ink sacs we're getting over at the industrial area, I think that pretty much covers everything we're going to need. The question is, where do I put these farms? So we do of course have plenty of space, but to be honest, I'm kind of wondering if we could sort of hang them on this corner here, because then we can hang them at different heights, but we can have them accessible from the bridge I just jumped off. But if we were to put the 4 too-tall flower farms in here at a diagonal, I think that could work quite well. So let's go grab a bunch of stuff and things and see what we can do. I think I have everything I need, and my plan, as I say, is to try and get some in here diagonally. So I think I'm going to put the first one in here. It seems like a good place to start. I do wonder, however, do I have trapdoors? I certainly do, but I wonder if I should maybe put like a small little sort of platform that goes out to where this is going to be. Maybe just there like that will be fine for the first one. So this should be fairly straightforward. We just need to get a hopper on the back of the barrel, and then let's quickly enclose that. And we'll just enclose the bottom bit here as well, so the minecart doesn't slip out once it's in. Then we'll put a block of grass there and a stair on the front, just so it looks a bit nicer. And now to convince a minecart that it really wants to live inside that block. Nope, not that way. Oh. Let's try that again. I'll actually get behind it this time. Beautiful. Block that in so it can't go anywhere. And we're going to need this to be too high for the flower. And then probably one more so that we can actually get a hopper line in to feed the dispenser. So we'll put a light at the bottom, then a dispenser, and then a hopper in the top there. And we'll just have those coming to the front. And then build up these sides as well. Probably up to there because we're going to need a barrel there, and that's where we'll load up the bone mill. So that is the majority of it there. However, we also need to make sure that we can actually turn it on and off. We've got no way of actually making this run, but I think we can make this fairly straightforward. If we put that in there and put an observer looking down here, bit of redstone on the back of those, a sticky piston there. Then we'll have an observer looking up here. Nope, that's not looking up. This could be a tricky one to get in place. Just need to get a bit lower. Right, so we've got an observer pointing up, and in theory, as soon as we turn that on, that should just automatically fire the dispenser, spit the bone meal out, and then grow the plants. So we'll just box the rest of this in and get some glass in the side. Load this up with bone meal, add a little bit of decoration to cover up the hoppers just a tad, get the flour in, and then block up the front. And I think we just need a lever now. So if we put that there and turn it on, look at that. We are producing many, many sunflowers, and they should all be getting collected and pulled straight into here. Excellent. Now we just need 3 more. And I should probably also get that one attached to the top there. And that's the second one done. And there's the third one producing nicely. Excellent. Well, it looks like Liara's having fun with some slimes down the bottom there. Oh, what? She just stole my lantern. Oh, I dropped that. She said thank you and everything. The cheek. But in good news, I have completed all 4 of the pods, and I think I just need to get bone meal in this one, and then we should be good to go. There we go, and look at that. Beautiful. So we now have pink, magenta, red, and yellow dye on demand, which is good. We also have black and white dye sorted, of course, from the bones and the ink sacs. Oh yes, and we have green dye sorted because of the cactus. So I think the next one we're going to tackle is going to be brown dye, which means we need to do some kind of cocoa bean farm, and we've got a couple of choices really. We could do like a micro farm type thing, and I think that might be the better option because then we can kind of fit it in with these ones. Otherwise we're going to end up taking up loads of space with a big old wall, and to be honest, I don't think I want that here just at the moment. Although just as a design feature in general, that wall over there could be quite a good location, but for now I think we are going to stick with a micro farm version. Question is, how do I do a micro farm version? So what I wonder is if we can do an adapted version of this. So this is of course our crop farm. So if we turn this on, it just splashes water in and out, and we plant these, they get bone milled, and we duplicate our carrots. And I do wonder if we can do something similar with the cocoa beans. If we were to put a jungle log at the back there and put the other dispenser at the bottom, maybe, I think we can probably just mess around with it a little bit and mess around with the layout and get what we need. So I think what I'm going to do is just go out this way and maybe put a platform under this area and see if we can build something up. We have those 3 blocks there is where we're going to put the dispensers. It is way too dark down here. I need some torches. There we go, now we can see. So this block here definitely wants to be jungle, which means we need to put dispensers there, 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 and there facing down. So if we make that the water one, my bucket is empty. Yoink. So we'll put that in there. And now we need to do redstone stuff. And in theory, it should be quite simple. If we just put that in there, and then some redstone dust along there, one piece going for the dispenser at the bottom, and the rest going over the top, in theory, when we turn that on, that should work. But I didn't bring any way of turning it on. Let's go get the lever. Well, it didn't work, and I flooded the platform. Oh dear. So I think the issue is that needs to be in subtract mode, maybe? So let's solve the water leaking problem. We're going to need hoppers going into the side of those, but then if we put a trapdoor under the bottom there, that should mean that we can just leave that running, and it doesn't matter if it ends up with water in it or not, it won't leak out. Perfect. Then we need barrels on top of these so we can put bone meal in, build up the rest of the frame. There we go, that should do the trick. Now to actually test it out and get some bone meal in it. Bone meal has been loaded up, and I guess it's time to test this. I probably should have tested it before I started decorating it, but we've still got a lot more to do on that front anyways. May as well give it a go. Why am I bouncing up and down like that? What in the world? I have absolutely no idea why I'm bouncing, but it appears to work. It's just like a bouncy beam machine. That's absolutely fine. We now have brown dye on bouncy demand. So I think something else we actually want to do is probably remove this sheep pen. I don't think we need it anymore. Oh. I'm sure Liara won't mind. There we go, that's looking much better, and we know it's effective as well, so I think we're good to call that project done as well. And I went for a different attachment to the ceiling here, and I think it works quite well. I do still need to sort out this walkway, however, and although the top bit is pretty much going to be how it is, I don't know what's going to happen here. We might have like another sort of round bit with segments that come off. I don't really know yet, because I need to attach it to something as well. So we'll come back to that, but that is another dye ticked off our list. And the next one on the list, I think, is going to be lime green dye, which means we need to make a sea pickle farm. So I think that's exactly what we'll do with that extra bit of platform we've got down there. Let's grab what we need and make it look nice. A few minutes later, and I've marked out an area where I want the platform to be. So this is going to be our pickle farm. I know it looks absolutely massive, but well, it is what it is. This is what happens when you design a farm yourself. So I've made this bridge look nice, I've attached it to the ceiling, and we've left it open here for more stuff and things over this way, where there is a lot of space. We're gonna have fun over there. But we need to focus over here and figure out how we're going to do this. It's not gonna be exactly the same as the ones I've done previously. It's gonna be a little bit different, I think, just because, well, we don't need quite as many pickles this time. We don't have a pickle shop, but we do still want to have this automated. So I've got a box of goodies, and hopefully we can make this happen. So I think I'm gonna put the chests down here and work my way backwards, and then we can just get rid of any platform we don't need. That seems like the most sensible thing to do. So this is going to be the confusing bit. I need to make sure I've got hoppers in that are all going to feed into these chests, but then I also need to make sure I've got hoppers that are below the coral, because there is a chance it can fall through the gaps when the floor shifts. And then I just need the ones at the front that are actually going to catch everything that washes off the top. So I don't want to put the coral blocks in for now, so we're going to use dark oak planks as placeholder, and this is just going to indicate where everything's going to need to sit, and then I can work around that, hopefully. So it's going to work on a premise of a shifting floor, which means we need pistons on either side, here and here, and then we'll just get this boxed in. And what I want to do is get some glass in so we can actually see when the machine's working. So we're going to encase a lot of this area in glass, but probably not all of it, because that could look a bit weird. So that should stop the water leaking out once we get it in there. Just a straightforward etho hopper clock down here, with an observer looking down there, and a log on top. So that will power the dispenser every time the clock changes. However, what we want to make sure it's doing is only actually setting off this side, then that side, so that the pistons swap places. But if we run that redstone all the way around, that will power these pistons, and we just need to make sure that we are also powering these pistons here from the other side. So as simple as that, we have our shifting floor. We definitely need an off switch though. Let's quickly get one in, and I've just fallen into the farm. So if we just put some redstone in behind that block, with a repeater going into the back of there, in theory, if we just stick a lever here, we should be able to turn it off. Ah, silence. What bliss. Also, that was way too fast. So we're going to chuck another item in there. There we go. That's a much more sensible speed for a Bedrock server. So the next step is to get the water in. Easy enough. Then I need to replace all these blocks with coral, which may result in some redstone spillage. But it might not. We might be okay. I forgot to put hoppers underneath. Oof. Oh, no, there goes some redstone. But that's the coral in. We'll plant some pickles up here, which handily also provides light. Excellent. Replace that bit of redstone, and I think the rest of it actually survived. Well, we've only got a little bit here at the moment, but if we chuck this bone meal in theory, it should now work. And we've got a handy little shortcut. I like that. So let's put some bone meal in there. Let's flick the lever and see if we get pickles. Look at that, lots of pickles. So from those 3 stacks of bone meal in about 2 minutes, we managed to get almost 6 stacks of sea pickles, and that I can be happy with. So that's the main shape done. I've just got to get some detailing in now. Overall, I'd say that's now looking pretty good. Our pickle farm is good to go, although we really do need to get some frames and get some signage on some of these things so other people know what's what should they head over here. But the last thing we actually need to do is to get some bone meal up here in these chests, because these are completely empty at the moment, which means we can't actually use it. Back to the mob farm, grab a whole bunch of this, fill up the chests, and now I think we can just run it for a little bit. But sadly, that's all we've got time for in today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed it, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye now. Bouncy, 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 bouncy.